The 1990s was a decade in which entertainment was undeniably in its creative prime. So many iconic films, television shows, and fashion trends that were created in the span of those 10 years have become essential parts of popular culture and history. One of the most remembered and definitive moments from the 90s era was the explosion of teenage pop music, a trend that saw record labels discovering teens with any kind of talent and either putting them into a group or sending them out independently to flood the airwaves. British girl group the Spice Girls are often seen as the originator of this trend. They burst onto the scene in '96 and induced Spice Mania all over the world with their high platform sneakers, peace signs, and girl power slogan. At the height of their prime, the media became heavily critical of the group, as many believed them to be nothing more than commercial products formed by men in suits. This belief, however, couldn't have been farther from the truth, and their story is a lot more complex than it seems. Let's explore it. This is the story of the Spice Girls. In order to fully understand the mania of the Spice Girls, it's imperative to first understand the methodology behind their formation. The UK pop scene in the mid-90s was dominated by boy bands, such as Take That and E17. Accountant-turned-manager Bob Herbert and his 23-year-old son Chris Herbert spotted the market gap for an all-female girl group and decided on creating one themselves. In 1994, they put out a casting call in a British weekly newspaper, seeking out streetwise, ambitious, and dedicated girls who could sing and dance. Over 400 enthusiastic applicants showed up, and after going through a couple rounds of auditions, it was eventually cut down to the 5 finalists, whose names were Melanie Brown, Melanie Chisholm, Victoria Adams, Jerry Halliwell, and Emma Bunton. Bob and Chris moved the girls into a small house and put them through a strict development program. Though they were very different girls, they all shared the same ambition to be successful pop stars and started to form a real friendship. After 5 months of intense vocal and dance lessons, the girls wanted to know if they were getting any good and asked Bob and Chris to set up a showcase in front of industry people. Bob and Chris complied, and the girls performed multiple sets at Nomis Studios in front of writers, producers, and record company A&Rs. The performances went great, and they began to gain a lot of hype within the industry. Up until that point, the girls didn't truly understand the valuable commodity that they were. What's even more surprising though is that their managers didn't realize it either. Despite spending over £20,000 on the girls, Bob and Chris never made them sign a formal contract. The reason for this was to simply intimidate the girls and play on their insecurities that they could easily be replaced at the drop of a hat. By the time Bob and Chris would try to pressure the girls under a sketchy contract, the power dynamic had shifted, and the girls packed their bags, left a note, and got out of the house. Legend even has it, the girls snuck into Bob and Chris's office and stole master recordings of their past songs, eliminating any type of leverage their ex-managers would have against them. The girls began going on a manhunt for producers and writers, often showing up to their doorsteps and promising to pay them later. In between studio sessions, they would be interviewing a plethora of possible managers, eventually landing on a man by the name of Simon Fuller. The girls took a liking to him because of his gentle personality and previous experience with pop acts such as Annie Lennox and Kathy Dennis. Once hired, Simon named the group the Spice Girls and shopped them around to different record labels. After an intense bidding war, the girls were signed to Virgin Records in the summer of '95. Right from the start, Virgin took the necessary measures to break the girls out internationally by sending them on promotional tours all over the UK, Japan, Holland, and Germany. During one of their early promotional tours, the girls did an interview with journalist Peter Lorraine for a popular British magazine. Peter wrote the girls into a small feature titled Spice Rack, in which he gave them nicknames based on their individual personalities. These names would not only become a huge part in the branding for the Spice Girls, but it also turned each member into an animated version of themselves. From that point on, Victoria Adams was referred to as Posh Spice due to her wealthy upbringing and sophisticated persona. Emma Bunton was named Baby Spice because of her blonde pigtails and pastel-colored outfits. Melanie Brown became known as Scary Spice due to her unapologetic attitude and leopard-printed outfits. Melanie Chisholm became known as Sporty Spice for athletic apparel and on-demand backflips. And lastly, Jerry Halliwell, who was originally called Sexy Spice, was known as Ginger Spice due to her fiery red hair and skin-tight outfits. Not long after receiving their names, the Spice Girls released their debut album on September 19th of 1996. It's a collection of infectious pop songs that venture out into genres of R&B, disco, and G-funk. Commercially, the album was a smash success, shooting up to #1 on multiple charts around the world. This high level of success can easily be attributed to the ubiquity of their debut single, Wannabe, a song that disrupted the pop music scene with its euphoric chorus about valuing friendships over lovers. It was through this song Wannabe that the group introduced a fundamental aspect of their brand, girl power. The term girl power first emerged from an underground feminist punk movement called Riot Grrrl. The girls took the basic principles from the movement and repackaged the rather serious idea into a digestible slogan that could easily be understood by the younger generation. To the Spice Girls, girl power was all about standing up for yourself, not letting men control you, and utilizing your femininity and brains to get what you want out of life. The slogan gave the group a purpose, and they made sure to spread the message to as many people as possible. By the summer of 1997, Spice Mania was in full effect. The girls were winning awards left and right, meeting important political figures, and making hundreds of millions of dollars from a plethora of endorsement deals. The group was unafraid to juice out their success, as they understood things for teen audiences quickly go out of style. To keep the momentum of their success going, the girls began immediately working on a new album, as well as a fictional film based on their lives to be released around the same time. As you can imagine, their hectic work schedule didn't allow for many breaks. They had to be this perfect international pop product at all times, and after a while, it began to negatively affect their mental health. On November 8th of 1997, after being constantly overworked and exhausted, the girls decided to abruptly fire their manager, Simon Fuller. It was, for all intents and purposes, the ultimate girl power move, but the media didn't see it that way. Tabloids instantly began to print opinion articles questioning whether the Spice Girls would be able to survive. It's fair to say that the decision to fire Simon was not the most wise. The girls had failed to realize that they couldn't be the 5 rebellious teens they were at the start of their career. When they fired their manager this time, they put the responsibilities of a multi-billion-dollar corporation on their shoulders. They had to work double time to find new stylists, drivers, bodyguards, and production assistants, all while dividing managerial tasks between themselves. In the midst of all the internal chaos, the girls released their second studio album titled Spice World, an accompanying movie of the same name. Both projects became international hits, with the album debuting #1 in multiple countries and the movie becoming the highest grossing film of all time by a musical group. To capitalize on that success, the girls embarked on an international tour all over Europe and North America. For a second, it seemed that despite the firing of their manager, the Spice Girls were going to survive. Things would take an unexpected turn, however, when member Jerry Halliwell missed 2 dates of the Spice World Tour and a promotional appearance on live TV. Speculation of her departure would be fueled by the press, but it wouldn't be until May 31st of 1998 when her lawyer made the official announcement that would confirm the fears of young kids all over the world.
Sadly, I would like to confirm that I have left the Spice Girls. This is because of differences between us. I'm sure the group will continue to be successful, and I wish them all the best.
The motivation for Jerry's departure wasn't due to one particular reason. It was a mixture between poor mental health, an eating disorder, overexhaustion, and wanting to discuss real-world issues. The glitz and glamour of the pop machine can take a huge toll on a person, and by the age of 25, Jerry had had enough and simply wanted to come back down to earth. Following Jerry's departure, the Spice Girls released a final R&B-influenced album titled Forever, before announcing a hiatus and embarking on their own solo careers. The Spice Girls were so much more than just one of the many manufactured pop groups from the 90s. Though they were initially formed together by a group of men, the second they realized they could, they grabbed a hold of their careers and forged their own path to success. Artists like Britney Spears, Backstreet Boys, and NSYNC have the girls to thank for reviving the tween audience and pioneering the marketing model they would all use to achieve success. At their core, the Spice Girls were a group about breaking the rules. They were never afraid to stand up for what they believed in and preached an important message of girl power to the young generation. They will forever go down as icons to 90s culture and one of the greatest girl groups of all time. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, it would be forever appreciated if you liked, comment, and subscribed. To be notified when a new video is up, feel free to hit the bell button after subscribing. If you would like more pop culture content, make sure to follow Flashy Magazine on Instagram. That's all I got for now. Thank you guys again for watching, and I'll catch you guys with the next video real soon.